Hey, it's Chuck Armstrong with Loudwire Nights, and this is Loudwire Nights On Demand. We recently caught up with guitarist Joey Bradford of The Used and drummer Tony Palermo of Papa Roach. We talked all things rock and, wait for it, golf. This first aired on Thursday, July 25th. Here you go. It's always great when we get to hang with musicians and artists on the show, and even better when we get to hang with multiple. And then tonight we're hanging with two very, very special guests from two very, very special bands, Joey Bradford of The Used and Tony Palermo of Papa Roach. Joey, Tony, thanks so much for hanging tonight.
Of course. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
So I'll jump right into this with you, Tony. I know P. Roach are working on new music. I think if I remember our last conversation with Jacoby, 2025 is going to be a pretty busy year for you guys. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a special year. It's a 25th anniversary of the Infest record. A lot of bands are celebrating anniversaries, but 25 years is crazy. So that's going to be a big year. We're just launching a bunch of tours, working on that. Got a European tour. We're starting in Europe January, so that'll kick the whole year off. But yeah, still don't even know what the whole year is going to entail, but it's going to be pretty special.
Right on, man. I get the feeling it'll entail some new music too. I'm just going to put that
out there.
Of
course. Yeah. I think we'll be dropping a few songs here and there.
Right on, man. Right on. And Joey, what's on the horizon for you guys in The Used? I know last year we got Toxic Positivity. This year we got the compilation of B-sides from those sessions called Meds. So what's on the horizon for The Used?
So next year for us, also like Tony and Papa Roach, next year is our 25th anniversary. So we're kind of in the planning stages of trying to do something really special. So nothing's ready to be announced yet for all of that stuff, but I can assure that it's going to be a very cool year, and we're going to do some extra special stuff. We've just been trying to mix it up. The tour we're on now, we're doing more songs than the band has ever done. We're playing songs that are deep cuts we've never played live before, and playing a couple new jams from the B-sides record, but just continuing as always.
That's awesome. I mean, for both of you guys, like to be at this point, playing new music, gaining new fans, playing new places, but then to still have that like reality of reflecting and being like, wow, 25 years have passed since we started or since we launched, with, the biggest album, Infest. It's pretty amazing to kind of hold those two things in tension.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, technically I wasn't even in the band 25 years ago as yourself, Joey. But I remember being at the Troubadour at that time. And like, I used to work there and they would come in and play. They weren't even signed yet. And I always joke around that, my light show got them signed. And but I just remember being back at that time, like K-Rock in LA was just cranking it, Last Resort. And I remember it's like, this track's banging, man. And then it just months and months, I'm like, I'm sick of this song. I'm hearing it every day. Like, damn. So I went through that with the band, and then I joined the band, and now I get to play it every night.
That's great.
Which it's better to play it than to have to listen to it every day.
Yeah, be on the other side of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was right there with you, dude. I was listening to that song when it was popping. Same thing with The Used, man. I was front row at the show. I wasn't working the show. I was there as a fan, but it's cool. That's another, reason why Tony and I connected and became such good buds too, is we have a little bit in common on that, joining our brothers who paved the way for us to come in and do our thing.
Yeah. I love hearing that. And listen, so listeners might be wondering why we're talking to the two of you together. So I feel like I got to clear
why are you talking to non-original members?
I got to clear the air first off. There's no collaboration between The Used and Papa Roach coming anytime soon, is there?
Hey, you know what? I think we always chat about it. Oh, you lost your ears?
We collaborated on a tour in Australia. That was
one of the most fun tours we've ever done, man. The hangs were incredible. Tony and I got out and played golf while we were there.
That's right.
It was great.
So that you guys tour together and, you collaborated in that way. Clearly, just you can hear the way you guys talk to each other. You guys are friends, no doubt. I mean, you guys have been friends for a minute now. It seems like, is that right?
Yeah, hot minute. I mean, dude, we go shopping together. I know what size shoe Joey wears.
That's true. That's true. Dude. I got those. Yeah,
how those working out for you?
Every time I hang out with Tony, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna. Dude, they're great. They're the best.
And Joey, you had mentioned when you guys toured that you and Tony would dip out and golf together, and actually that's kind of where for me the two of you came on my radar together at the same time, not separately, but
Yeah.
together, because you're both part of this new organization that recently launched called the Musicians Golf Association. That's right.
That's right. Yeah, we're super excited about it. So we had some friends of mine, some friends of ours in the industry that have been working, kind of behind the scenes and on the industry professional side. They've been developing this association for the last year and a half. And by the time I caught wind of it a few months back, I kind of weaseled my way in as quick as I can. Like the music world and the golf world colliding has been something that, a lot of us have done on tour kind of in the shadows over the years. But, we're so excited that now there's a one-stop shop for all of us to connect with each other and, book rounds together. And they're going to be throwing tournaments all over the world. And it's just kind of all of our dreams come true, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we play a lot on tour. Every day off, I try and get out and play, get away from the rock and roll circus.
I love that, man. Well, it's interesting that you guys are saying this, because I think people may not immediately link rock and roll and golf together. And Tony, you even said you kind of did it in the shadows. Joey, you said you've been waiting for this, something like this to happen.
Yeah.
Why now, I guess? Why does it seem like the time is ripe now for the shadows to part and for you guys to be public about this?
I think we just needed someone to kind of captain the ship. Once the idea was even put on my radar, Tony's radar, we were both like, we don't even need details. We're in all the way. Let's figure this out as we go. But man, really, the second we launched, which was just a month or so ago, you would be blown away the amount of people that were like, no way, you're into golf, I'm into golf. People that I'm on tour with now, I've already got to play with, and we're booking rounds for the next tours. And it's kind of just become this, I don't know, maybe just people weren't aware that everyone in bands has one or two people in their camp that's down. It's a lot of off days when you're on the road, you're traveling around the world. Golden opportunity to do, get outside for 4 hours with your friends and have a blast. Being good at golf is probably the least important thing about playing golf, especially on tour. So
that's a backseat. Yeah. Being good.
It really is, man.
I like that, man.
I mean, I love it. It's just, it's such a challenge. People don't really understand unless they play it. When you try and watch it, you're just like, oh my God, this is boring. But I can watch every single shot in golf and just be like, how did that happen? So it's a different feeling when you're in it or into it.
Were you guys into golf before getting into music? Or was that sort of, did they happen together? We're on
Tony?
the road, we're seeing all these places.
I mean, I've been into music since I was, 6 or 7. So golf came later. Golf definitely came later.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. I, when I was a kid, man, the music thing snuck up on me later in life, really. When I was a kid, I was playing lots of sports, and I got into golf when I was 12 years old. A couple friends of mine, we would play after school and had a blast. But then I kind of gave it up for many, many years. And then once I got into my 20s and especially started traveling, and I think I was probably influenced by a couple other guys that were like, hey, we're going to play golf. That sounds amazing. But it's this weird, once you kind of break into being a golf guy again, there's a huge community of people that are like, me too. I'm into it. So at home, we're playing all the time.
Yeah. Joey, I started golfing, in high school because we had a golf team, and I didn't play baseball at the time. I didn't play baseball or do track, and when that happens, you golf every day, and it's just
so good.
Yeah, it's amazing. To think back on that time and be like, man, I golfed every single day, every week.
What? And you didn't even know what you had.
Didn't know what I had. Didn't know what I was doing it with friends every day. It was great. And Tony, hearing you say, it's not even about being good. That's not the whole point of it. It's just, it's just that experience of being outside, being with buddies, experiencing new places. I'm sure you guys, because you tour, you probably play a lot of courses you would never play otherwise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing too, is making friends around the world that are also into golf, people in different regions that, hey, I'm going to be in Chicago, and you'll go meet a friend that you met playing golf that you're going to go rip around with, which again, to circle back with the whole MGA thing, that's what's another exciting part about it, is it's not just for, guys like Tony and I that are on the road and in bands and playing. It's a cool opportunity to connect other other like golf obsessed music fans, with each other and with the ambassadors that also have that same thing. You know, sometimes there's a separation between fans and guys in bands and this like allure of what that is. But just like anything, when you meet someone that has the same obsessions as you do, there's no line, there's no nothing. It's just like, oh, you're into golf? Like, we're the same people. Let's go.
That's
yeah,
right.
I mean,
And,
one of the things too about this whole association is we're going to be doing like a fairways with fans thing, right? And that'll give us a chance to, you know, instead of doing a meet and greet at a show and it's like the whole rock experience, it's like come watch me hack my way through a golf course, you know. And that'll be a really special invitation and a thing for people to kind of join us, you know, for.
Yeah, and it's a unique experience too, and that's you know, like as a fan, man, that's all I ever want. Like, listen, meet and greets are great, but you know, it's the same thing every time, regardless of the band, regardless of the artist.
Yeah.
But you know, to be able to experience something like, oh, you golf around with someone or something like that. It's just, you know, it's kind of a one of a kind opportunity. And so if listeners want to learn more about this, it's musiciansgolfassociation.com. You can see the ambassadors, you can see the artists who are part of this, you can get more information. I think I'm part of this actually. You know, Joey, like you, someone emailed me and said like, hey, do you like golf? I was like, well, yeah. And then they're like, well, here, you want to join? I was like, sure, great. And I didn't realize.
It's so cool. Everything's just coming together as we go. You know, it's like they spend a lot of time getting all the details right. But at this point, we're just like, if you love golf and you love music, come join our family and we're going to figure out how to make this awesome. You know, they have some tournaments booked already. There's 2 tournaments that are on the books. The members are growing. It's just exciting. You know, it's just a whole other thing for Tony and I to be obsessed with. And we're texting each other every day. And, you know, lots of guys in other bands, we just are like blowing each other up. So excited to play golf. So.
Yeah. I'm like, what about this guy? Let's get him on. Yeah, cool. Hit him up. Like, you know.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah. So final question for you guys. Who's like the dream partner on the course? You know, someone you haven't golfed with, but, you know, would be like a bucket list to be able to golf with.
Ooh, I want to play with Timberlake. I want to see that guy rip.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Joe.
Yeah, that would be great. That'd be great. I actually met Alice Cooper. I mean, we've done a lot of shows with those guys, and he told me that he gets out every single day, and he's been sponsored by Callaway for like the last 30 years or something.
Yeah.
Legend.
So he'll just play show days and stuff, which I've done it before. It's kind of difficult if you have sound checks and stuff, but I would like to play with Alice. I think that would be such a cool thing, and he's such a genuine human being too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We had Patrick Carney of the Black Keys on, and somehow, you know, his neighbor is Alice Cooper's manager or something like that. And, you know, just all of a sudden, like he started golfing with Alice Cooper. And in my head, I'm like,
dream.
That's got to be it. Yeah. That's got to be the dream, to golf with Alice Cooper.
I just want to see what, you know, like how he shoots and stuff. I mean, play that long. It's like, he's into it. It's really cool.
Yeah. That's the problem though. I'm not good enough to golf with Alice Cooper. You know, I don't know.
Well,
what
I'm
level,
not saying I am. Yeah, I'm not saying I am. But, and that's a cool thing. Like you mentioned, you don't have to be good. But the thing is, it's like if it's in your blood, it's like you feel the advancement. You always want to get better.
Yeah.
And you hit those great shots and you're like, man, I got to just put those together and complete a nice round. So for me, it's just like, I know I'm not good. I'm not great. I'm decent, but I just want to, you know, get better. And it's just something that you keep. It's like with your instrument, you know, you get to that next advancement and you're like, oh, I can play that now. Cool. What else do I learn? You know, so it's just, and there's so many variables in golf. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And now we have a good excuse to get more people into it too. Even on the tour, I brought 2 of our crew guys out in somewhere in the Midwest, but they'd never swung a club before. And we just like straight up raw dogged it, for lack of a better term, just took them on the course and started ripping. And like halfway through, they're into it, you know? So I'm sure they'll go home and spend $3,000 and get obsessed for the rest of their lives, like all of us. So
and on that Shinedown run last year, I had a few guys bring out their clubs from my crew, and then we ended up like going the whole time. We did like 8 weeks with those guys, and we played almost every day off except for 2 days
Amazing.
And I had 2 foursomes between all my crew guys. They started getting clubs. Some of them would rent clubs, and it was on, man. Everybody was so juiced. It was really cool to see, you know. There was
That's
like
great.
8 guys.
I love
it. Went
this.
from just me and the whole crew. I'm like, anybody else play golf? Come on, man. And you know, I mean, I've gone out by myself and hooked up with some cool people, but yeah, we finally had like 2 foursomes, and it was a blast.
That's great. I love this, guys. I love talking about rock. I love talking about golf, and it's fun. You know, talking about all of this with both of you. Listen, we are big fans of The Used and big fans of Papa Roach on this show, and I know I speak for everyone at Loudwire when I say that. So thank you guys for hanging tonight. Joey Bradford of The Used, Tony Palermo of P. Roach. You both are welcome anytime, and maybe we'll get a golf around together one day soon.
Let's do that. That's what I'm talking about. Kansas City.
Yeah, that's right.
That wraps up this episode of Loudwire Nights on Demand. Stay caught up with everything happening in the world of rock and metal on the Loudwire app and at loudwire.com.